So before I get started, I just want to introduce George. I got him when I was 5 or 6 years old, and I sleep with him every night, and he's been with me for my experience of all of sleep paralysis, so I thought it was necessary. But, so to start, have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and your whole body was paralyzed, or not being able to move, or even being able to talk, to call for help if you're having a nightmare? This is sleep paralysis. Second question. Do you have a favorite sleeping position? Like either sleeping on your back, sleeping on your side, even fetal position, or even on your stomach? Well, I used to always be a back sleeper, and if you didn't know, sleeping on your back heightens your chances of getting sleep paralysis. Now, I'm a side sleeper, and it just works out better for me. But last question, do you need to sleep in a dark room or have some sort of nightlight in your room? Well, as we all know, the trend in 2020 was to have colorful LED lights in your room. And, you know, me being a trend follower, I had them, and when I first got them, I used to sleep with them on, and I would take naps, sleep with them on all night, and that's when I first experienced sleep paralysis. And now I don't sleep with them on, ever. But it was so terrifying, and this is one of the main causes, could be one of your main causes. So here, when you experience sleep paralysis, you can also have some crazy hallucinations. And some can be very scary, some can be so random. But here, I have intruder hallucinations, which is when you feel like there's someone in the room, like a dangerous presence in the room with you. The second hallucination that you can have is an out-of-body experience where you're sleeping, but you can see your own self sleeping. It's like you have a different point of view. And thankfully, I've never experienced that, but that just sounds really scary. And then the last hallucination that you can have is a chest pressure hallucination, where it's like you feel like you're suffocating, like something's suffocating you. So sleep paralysis is like one of those things that's hard to understand. It's like one of those things you need to see with your own eyes to really know what it feels like. So I'm assuming here everyone knows the basics of it. You can't move, you can't talk, paralyzed, can't do anything, and you just see random stuff in your room. So here I have a picture, trigger warning, of these two ladies just sleeping, and they just see demons in their room. And personally, I've only experienced like one kind of scary hallucination. Like a couple weeks ago, I was, awake but sleeping, and there was a little girl just standing in my room. But since I've experienced sleep paralysis before, I know it wasn't real. So I was calm, like it was fine, but it was scary. And I tried calling for help, but I couldn't. So up to as many as 4 out of 10 people may experience sleep paralysis, and it's most likely to happen in your teen years. I actually spoke to my dad about it, and he said that he used to get sleep paralysis when he was younger, but men and women can get it at any age. Believe it or not, scientists actually don't know the true cause of sleep paralysis, but they do know a bunch of things that can heighten your chances of getting it. So here I'm going to talk about the sleep cycle. So sleep paralysis often occurs in your REM stage of sleep, which is the rapid eye movement, which is when you are sleeping and you're dreaming. It's like your dream stage of sleep. And it lasts about 90 minutes, and your body paralyzes so you can't act out your dream. So here, stage 1 of your sleep cycle is when you feel drowsy, which lasts about 5 to 10 minutes. Stage 2 is light sleep, lasts about 20 minutes. Stage 3 is moderate sleep, lasts about 10 to 20 minutes. Stage 4 is your deep sleep, lasts about 30 minutes. And then stage 5 is the rapid eye movement that I just talked about, lasts about 90 minutes. So as I mentioned earlier, scientists don't know the true cause, but they do know things that can cause it, that can heighten your chance of getting it. So one of the first big causes I'm going to talk about is genetics. So studies have found a higher risk in people with a family history of sleep paralysis, but no genetic basis has been identified. There's a very interesting study that they conducted where they took 800 siblings and twins who were experiencing sleep paralysis, and the results that they got showed that most of their cases were due to genetics. Another major cause is stress/anxiety disorders and lack of sleep. Changes in your sleep patterns, like being like a shift worker, like where you take different shifts, you have to sleep different times of the day, like that can really mess up your sleep schedule and heighten your chances of getting sleep paralysis. Also, people that have obstructive sleep apnea, also known as OSA, which is a sleep disorder marked by repeated lapses in your breathing, they have shown to have high chances of getting sleep paralysis. But also, like examples like getting off a flight, having jet lag, like that, all that stuff ties into heightening your chance of getting sleep paralysis. So now I'm going to talk about things you can do to prevent yourself from getting sleep paralysis. First, I want to talk about fixing your sleep schedule. So things like getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep every night and setting a routine for yourself where you wake up at the same time every morning, go to bed at the same time every night. All these things can tie into helping you prevent yourself from getting sleep paralysis. Also, consuming things like caffeine, alcohol, smoking, having a big meal before bed is a big no-no. Don't do that. This will heighten your chance of getting sleep paralysis, and it's like distracting your body from trying to fall asleep. Now, a big one, easing stress. So, stress being one of the leading causes of sleep paralysis, doing anything you can to try and ease your stress as much as you can will help you 1,000% and help lower your chances of sleep paralysis. Now, this one you've probably heard before, has many beneficial factors. Putting your phone away, putting your TV away 30 minutes prior to bed. This will help your mind focus on falling asleep and won't distract you from trying to go to bed. And so now lastly, medically, if you really feel like you've tried everything you could to prevent your sleep paralysis, you've tried doing different routines, going to bed, like all these different things, and maybe it's time to see if a doctor if it's really scaring you. Treating any mental issues can prevent sleep paralysis from occurring. There's a couple medical conditions that tie into sleep paralysis, like narcolepsy, which is a long-term condition that causes a person to suddenly fall asleep. And they have many treatments, many medications that you can take that will lower your chances of getting sleep paralysis. Now also, as we obviously were talking about sleep paralysis, it can actually be a symptom of another medical condition, like having migraines, sweating, muscle aches, like all that. So now, lastly, I just want to talk about what happens if you suddenly get sleep paralysis and what to do. So first, you want to stay calm and relax your body. If you're getting it for the first time, obviously you're not going to know what's going on, and it's going to be really scary, and it's going to feel like you're living an actual nightmare. So you just want to stay calm, relax your body, know that it's not real, and just wait it out. Second, think of something happy to get your mind off the paralysis. So for me personally, when I start to get sleep paralysis, I think of some fun time I do, some fun thing I did with my friends, my family, just a good memory, just to pretend that I know I can't move right now. Just something to get your mind off of it. And remind yourself that there is no reason to be afraid. Obviously, if there's a little girl sitting in your room, you're going to be scared. So you just want to know, like, it's not real. Like, it's going to pass, it's not real, and it'll be good, all good. So I just want to thank you all for listening to me. I hope if you ever get sleep paralysis, you now know what causes it, things you can do to prevent it, and I hope this helps. Thank you.